Minnesota's budget continues a downward trend, increasing a forecasted deficit on the horizon.
It comes amid what Minnesota management and budget is calling a period of uncertainty. Valley News Team's Quinn Gorham explains how lawmakers hope to approach it.
Minnesota's deficit is growing. That's the news out of the state's chief budgeting agency on Thursday. The biggest contributors at the state level are the same as they were in November. Higher expenditures in education and in human services. But Minnesota management and budget is now projecting that inflation could grow in the coming months and that federal policy is a major question mark in their predictions. MMB showed that the state's deficit in fiscal years 28 and 29 is growing. It's about $850 million worse than the November forecast predicted. That brings the estimated deficit to nearly $6 billion, but that deficit is still 4 years away. In the current legislative biennium, or two-year period, the state is still projected to wind up with a $456 million surplus. That's also down from November's estimates, but it's a positive number that gives the legislature some room to work for now. MMB says it's closely monitoring federal policy, but that things like tariffs and spending cuts could have a major impact.
At both the national and state levels, there is significant uncertainty surrounding trade, fiscal, and immigration policies. These uncertainties contribute to substantial downside risks through all the years of the forecast.
Almost all of those possible risk elements aren't factored into the February forecast. Republicans, meanwhile, continue to blame the majority of the deficit on DFL spending.
We can't take time blaming a new administration for problems that were caused over the last 2 years under one-party Democrat control.
If there's one thing to take from this budget forecast, it's that the future is unclear. Minnesota's budget was already projected for a deficit prior to Trump taking office, but it's clear that changing federal policy has thrown things into flux. Several things, including changes to tariffs, immigration policy, and tax code, could drastically change the state's economic outlook. Reporting in St. Paul, I'm Quinn Gorham.
Minnesota does have a rainy day fund, about $3.5 billion. That's meant for sudden economic downturns that the state did not budget for.